Hi everybody, Mitchell here. This is my long-awaited Q&A for celebrating 100 subscribers. And I would like to thank everybody for being here, for supporting my channel, for encouraging me, just for everything. It means so much. I can't even express it properly or the way I would like to. So, these questions came from an anonymous suggestion box that I posted. So I don't even know who submitted them, and I got a couple from my Facebook. I'm not sure if I'll be using the suggestion box in the future. If you submitted a question for me, let me know your thoughts on the suggestion box. It's not because I want to know who you are necessarily, I just want some feedback on the suggestion box. Anyway, I have quite a few questions here, so I'm going to read them in no particular order. The first question is, what is my condition exactly? This one is a bit of a long story, but I'm going to try to give you the short version. My original condition is I was born very early. I was born premature, 10 and a half weeks premature. I also had a lack of oxygen when I was born. So I came out very small and black and purple, and they weren't sure if I was going to survive. My mom was told I would be blind, deaf, and retarded, and to put me in an institution when I was born. So she didn't do that, obviously, and I am none of the things that the doctors thought I would be. But I did have some lasting side effects from the original disability, which are I had some balance issues, which basically means I couldn't walk the way most people walk. I had to hold on to things like a wall or a walker or something to support myself. I used a wheelchair for anything that wasn't a short distance. I've had lots of leg surgeries to try to. My muscles are very tense, so the surgeries were to try to loosen things up a bit, and I'm not sure how successful any of those were or necessary or helpful for that matter, but lots of people ask me why wasn't I diagnosed with cerebral palsy, because I wasn't. They diagnosed me with what's called adult respiratory distress syndrome, and that is the closest they could come up with to diagnose me with, even though I don't really have breathing problems or anything like that. I also don't have the brain damage that comes along with cerebral palsy. So they were unable to find brain damage when they did the brain scans, and I think part of why they did the brain scans is because when I was really little, when I was baby, I used to have seizures, about something like 60 to 80 seizures a day. I forgot what they're called. But the doctors said that I wasn't in pain even though I would scream the whole time. And they went away. I don't have seizures or anything. That's my original disability, but my current condition is completely unrelated. I'm in my current condition because I got a foot infection. I almost lost both of my legs to infection, is why I'm like this, and that's the very short version. It started as a scratch on the top of my foot, and instead of healing like they usually do, it spread up my foot, and they thought they were going to have to amputate. On the other side, I got a very small abrasion, and I didn't feel it, and it expanded to a 30-inch wound on my other side. I spent 3 months in 2 different hospitals, and I was by myself other than staff because my mom had to work, and I was also at least 2 hours from where they lived, so it wasn't really easy for them to come visit me. I've also had 2 different transfusions because of that, and 2 debridement procedures, which means they take off all the bad skin and tissue until they get to clean tissue, healthy tissue. So I went through that a few times, and bandage changes every few days, and I had what's called a wound vacuum on the wound on my left side, the big one, to help it stay healthy and to heal. And that thing it's painful. They try to give me physical therapy at the same time, but at the time it was more important for the wound to heal, and we just sort of had to wait on physical therapy. I think that's everything to answer that question. Right now, I have no wounds. I'm all healed up. The lasting side effect that I do have is severe nerve damage from the waist down. So that's been my greatest challenge, other than getting the physical therapy I need, because it's been a long time. I've been like this for a while, a few years, and Oklahoma basically gave up on me, so California has been a bit more helpful, but it's still a challenge. It's a challenge because a lot of people have not come across someone like me before with my health challenges, my physical challenges. I hope that answered the question. I guess I should say, when I had that bigger wound that needed the wound vacuum, it really weakened me. It was taking all of my nutrients. So I became so weak. I wasn't able to walk anymore. Another thing that was a challenge is I did a transfer one day and it went wrong and I broke both my legs at the same time. So that's another thing. I mean, they're all healed up and everything, but my life is just, it could be a book, I guess, like, and I've considered writing it. I just haven't had the courage quite yet to write everything out. I've tried, but my notes, I no longer have my notes. So I would have to start from scratch. And it would take a lot for me to do that. Um, but if anyone is interested in hearing more of my story, just let me know and I will bite the bullet and start the book, or I will make more videos. Um, but I think that's everything as far as that question and my current condition. Um, so here we have question number 2. What do I think happens to us when we die? And do I believe in heaven or hell? Heaven and hell. I'm basing my answer to this question on 2 things. One is spiritual knowledge that I've gained, and 2 is my own experience of things that I've actually seen with my own eyes. So, to start, I think what happens to us when we die depends on, partially at least, on how we die. Sometimes, if it's really traumatic, for example, we go through a healing process on the other side. But I believe in things like angels. I believe that there are angels whose only job it is to help us. And when we die, there are angels that are there to help us adjust to not being on Earth anymore. I believe that we also go through what I call a life review, where we look at our life and we see the things we've done, good and bad, and how they've impacted people, both that we love and strangers, and just people that we encounter, both good and bad. We look at those things to see how we've grown and what we've learned, and if we've learned what we wanted to learn. Because that's another part of what I believe is we come to Earth to learn and grow, for our soul to learn and grow. And before we're born, we choose what we want to learn. So when we go back, I call it back home. During the life review, we look and we see, did we learn what we had hoped to learn? And we also get to decide if we want to come back to Earth, either to try to relearn or continue to learn about the same thing, or if we want to come back and learn something completely different, or if we don't want to come back at all. We do have free will as a soul to decide. Do I believe in heaven or hell? I believe in afterlife. heaven or hell are, in most situations that I've encountered, tied to religion. And I have some strong opinions on organized religion, but um, but I respect people and their beliefs, whatever they are, as long as they're not hurting anyone. Um, Personally, do I believe in heaven or hell? I believe in afterlife, and I believe that sometimes, for people, hell is actually on earth. I also believe sometimes that hell was created to scare people um, into doing whatever the higher ups, be they clergy or whoever they are, wanted us to do. So they said, let's create this really scary place and let's implant it into children's brains at a very young age. Just plant this fear into people. Um, and I don't necessarily agree with that, but I think that for some people, hell can definitely be on earth, and heaven can be in the afterlife. But also, for some people, there are parts of earth that are heaven. I think it depends on your perspective or your upbringing. Uh, but I believe in light and dark, and those are on earth and in the afterlife. You can't have light without dark. So I think that's what I believe as far as heaven and hell. I'm not afraid of going to hell, by the way. No. I believe that my Creator made me as I was meant to be made. For a reason, sometimes, even if I don't know what that reason is. But that doesn't mean that I believe everything happens for a reason, but that's a topic for another video. Question 3. How was my relationship with my parents growing up? My relationship with my parents. It was not all bad, but there was a lot of domestic violence in my household. Also, my father, he drove cross-country semi-trucks hauling furniture, so he was away a lot, away from us. But I used to go along during the summer, so that was really cool. So I've been to all 48 United States. I haven't been to Alaska or Hawaii, but I've at least passed through all United States. My relationship with my parents is complicated to say the least. But growing up, it wasn't great, but it wasn't all bad either. So I think that's all I'll say about that particular thing. because both of my parents had issues that impacted me. My mother has mental health issues, and my father has mental health and addiction issues back then. So it was a struggle growing up. But I do have some good memories too. I wish that I had more good than bad, but I think over the years my memories, for the most part, tend to gravitate toward the few really good that I have, and I'm grateful for that. Uh, Question 4. What advice would I give to little Mitchell if I could? Okay, so this question, I feel like I have to explain it. Because I'm going to be very specific with this question. And this doesn't just mean me as a child. I'm going to answer it just as it was asked. What would I say to little Mitchell, which is who I am now? And my first instinct is to apologize to him, to tell him I'm sorry. I'm sorry that he has had to wait for so long to try to learn what love is, and that journey continues to be difficult for you. I'm so sorry, but I want you to know that you're a good boy. Your heart is good. Your intentions are good. Your heart is pure. You're not perfect, but you're such a good little boy. And for those who see you, you are amazing. You are a light for them. You help people, even if you don't realize that you help people. Your life has value, and you are loved by people who you probably don't even know. Because I know that he got a shorter end of a stick, because he didn't get to be a little boy. He didn't get showered with love. But he's such a bright, happy little soul. And I hope that he gets to be everything that he's ever wanted to be. I know life is hard. Life is really, really hard. But just try to remember how loved you are. And know that we'll get through it, and I'll help you. And you have friends who really love you. Even if they're in different states and all the way across the country, and and that you have, even though there's people that are in much closer proximity who can't see you, just look at the people that see you and just hug them with your heart, because those are your people and they will feel it. That's what I would say to little Mitchell if I could. From my heart to his heart. Next question. What do I like most about being a YouTuber? What I like most is the hope and the thought that my being here on YouTube is actually helpful to someone. The thought that my videos can, just from not even leaving my house, I can post a video, and that one video might help someone. That's also what keeps me going when I'm not even sure if I should still make videos. So when I'm in a mood and I'm not sure and I'm silent or I don't feel good and I see that people have been watching my videos and commenting, or even that I got a new subscriber, I appreciate each and every one of them, because each and every one of them is a real person behind the screen who took a minute out of their life to watch something that I created. Any big YouTuber that I aspire to be like? I have been thinking and thinking about this question because I like to think that my channel's pretty unique, but I would like to be, fairly recently I've been watching this YouTuber and I think that she's amazing, and her name is Thoraya. And part of Thoraya's project is she sits, I think, in a park with a microphone, and she'll ask people these really personal, deep questions. Complete strangers, and that's part of the attraction of the whole thing. And just hearing people's stories and things that they've been through, and just the connection, I love it. Just how they connect with each other, and then reading the comments and how everybody connects there too. It's amazing, and I would like to impact people like that, just help people the way that she helps people. Not necessarily by doing what she does, but just by impacting someone in their life and in their heart like that. I would love to do that. And I'll probably link the channel in my description, even though she doesn't need my help. She has over 1 million subscribers, but she's awesome and she deserves each and every one of them. And the last question. If I could be a part of any fandom, which one would it be and why? I put so much thought into this question. Because I could only pick one. And I really like Hunger Games. That's an awesome fandom. But, I wouldn't survive the Hunger Games. I would die instantly. I like Harry Potter. I would like to also say I do not like the creator of Harry Potter anymore, but I still like Harry Potter. Because I would get to learn magic, and that's awesome. But I decided on the Trekkie fandom because that's the fandom that would give me the most opportunities to thrive and live an awesome quality of life. So that's my answer, is the Trekkie fandom. Probably Voyager specifically. But that is my answer. And if you have sat here through this with me for half an hour, thank you so much. I will try to put timestamps in the description of the questions if I can figure out how to do that. Thank each and every one of you for watching. I will catch you in the next video. If you have any suggestions for future videos, please don't hesitate to let me know in the comments, or if you have a way to reach me personally, please feel free. Thank you, and I will catch you in the next video.